Welcome to the Verdict Zone. Today we're diving into a story that redefines the idea of a breakup. It's the tale of Paul, a man who, when faced with his wife's betrayal, didn't fight, didn't argue, he just vanished. He orchestrated a silent, calculated exit that left his cheating wife completely blindsided, and eventually, desperate for a reconciliation she would never get. Their story began to unravel after 3.5 years of marriage. Paul's wife, Kathy, started working longer and longer hours, creating a strain between them. The distance was growing, but the real alarm bell wasn't a suspicious text message or a late-night phone call. It was a piece of clothing, a pink bra, her bra, which Paul found inexplicably tucked under the passenger seat of her car. His heart pounded in his chest, a sick feeling washing over him, but he chose to stay silent, holding on to a sliver of hope. He decided to make one last grand effort to reconnect. He planned a beautiful candlelit dinner, hoping to reignite the spark they once had. But when Kathy finally came home, she breezed right past his efforts. Without even a glance at the table he'd set, she announced she was tired and was going out for drinks with her coworkers. That casual dismissal, that complete disregard for him, was the final straw. It wasn't just a rejection of a dinner. It was the rejection of their marriage. The catalyst for everything that was about to happen had been set in motion. As Kathy went to shower, a cold, calculated plan formed in Paul's mind. He took his work phone, which had a GPS tracker, and quietly slipped it into her handbag. 20 minutes later, he was in his car, following the signal. It didn't lead him to a local bar filled with her coworkers. It led him straight to a hotel. There, in the parking lot, his worst fears were confirmed as he watched her get out of her car and walk into the hotel lobby, hand in hand with a man he recognized as one of her company's executives. But in that moment of ultimate betrayal, Paul didn't feel rage. He didn't feel the urge to confront them or cause a scene. Instead, he felt an overwhelming need to escape. He put the car in drive and just started heading out of town, with no destination in mind. About 30 miles down the road, a chance encounter changed everything. He met a stranger named Ray, a kind older man who, after hearing his story, offered him an incredible way out, a small, secluded trailer on his land in the remote foothills, a place to disappear and start over. While Kathy was away on what she claimed was a work trip, Paul executed his escape with military precision. Over the next few weeks, he quietly moved all of his personal belongings, his clothes, his tools, his keepsakes, to the trailer. He was meticulous, leaving behind everything they had acquired together, all the shared property, all the memories. On his final trip to the house, he placed his wedding ring on the kitchen table. Beneath it, he left a short, devastatingly simple note, "I hope it was worth it," and then he was gone. In the solitude of the mountains, Paul felt a sense of liberation he hadn't experienced in years. He began running, hiking, and rediscovering himself. He completely cut off all contact. His phone exploded with hundreds of calls and desperate texts from Kathy, but he let them all go unanswered. His silence was his power. It left her with no choice but to hire a lawyer and grant him the uncontested divorce he wanted, exactly on his terms. He had ghosted his own marriage, and in doing so, he had taken back control of his life. A year passed. Paul was a new man, physically fit, genuinely happy, and even starting to date someone new who appreciated his rugged mountain man lifestyle. Then, one day, his past showed up at his doorstep. Kathy had managed to track him down. She stood before him, tearfully confessing her mistakes and begging for forgiveness. Karma, she said, had been brutal. Her affair partner had left her, blaming her for the drama that cost him his own family. She had also lost her job. She wanted the old Paul back, the forgiving man she once knew. But that man was gone, murdered by her betrayal. Paul looked her straight in the eye, his voice calm and resolute, and delivered the cold, unvarnished truth. He told her, "You murdered it. Forgiveness does not exist." He had built a new life from the ashes of the old one, a life of peace and self-respect. He refused her final, desperate plea to visit for a weekend. He wouldn't even give her his new phone number. He was happy, truly happy, and he wasn't willing to risk the tranquility he had fought so hard to build for himself. And now, the verdict zone turns to you. Was Paul's absolute zero-contact approach the right move? Was his refusal to forgive justified, or does Kathy's profound regret and suffering mean she deserved a second chance? Let us know your verdict in the comments. Would you have eventually opened the door to forgiveness, or would you follow Paul's path of a clean, decisive break? Hit that subscribe button and join the conversation. Thanks for watching.